Rob, as we begin preparing ourselves for the third anniversary of DEI, it's such an important part of our organization. Tell me, what were your thoughts behind launching a DEI committee?
Yeah, so for our diversity, equality, and inclusion focus, I think one of the things to recognize is we've been focused on it for a long time, many years, and we have a huge diversity of team members, and we have a growing diversity of residents. But I think what occurred with George Floyd really brought attention for the country, not just for us, but for the country, for us to act more intentionally.
Yeah.
And with that intentionality, to be focused on some goals, really looking at how do we want to structure ourselves for tomorrow and for the next day, and really as we look out years from now, steps we take today, setting us up for the most success we can have to attract and retain a diverse workforce.
Yeah.
And to attract and retain and support people in the community that are diverse.
Yeah. I remember the conversation 3 years ago when you asked me to serve as the chair, and I thought about just everything that was going on. You're right, after the death of George Floyd. And then I think we were just starting to see an increase in hate crimes against all people of color. And I really took a step back because I wasn't sure I was ready to step into that role. But I thought about it and said, if I don't, what's going to happen? I'm responsible. I have a commitment to making sure that I can do everything towards diversity as possible within our organization. So 3 years later, what do you see as some of the accomplishments that we've made to change the culture of Goodwin Living?
I think one of the key things was the committee itself, right? The committee itself was not a person who was then responsible. The committee itself wasn't responsible, but the committee itself was able to be a mix of team members with your leadership, residents, and eventually board members as well.
Exactly.
And with that combination of focus, now we can share a message broadly and start to really educate and have deep conversations. And I think the committee's success has been about facilitating those conversations, opening the space to have those conversations. Because when hate is present, it's really hard to go to someone who's hateful and say, well, stop being hateful. But if you can sit down with the person, if you can start to show that we're all just people, we're all equal in that regard. We all need love and respect. We all have heartache. Like, if we can just get down to the compassion of people, then we can blossom back up again. And I think that's where the committee has been remarkable. Education, our Friday Thoughts that come out consistently. I have a lovely calendar that I really adore.
Yes.
It has events and activities going on throughout the year. So it's not just a one-day thing. It's not just a one-week thing. We're not focused on it for a month. It's holistic. So I think the committee has been able to raise up the awareness and allowing us to have these elements, these tools that allow us to celebrate who we are.
Absolutely.
And really foster it and build and grow upon one of the greatest benefits of Goodwin Living.
Yeah. It excites me to think about where we were 3 years ago and how we're moving forward. I think if I was to pull out one thing as a chair, I would just say that there's an awareness. And my own experience has been what I'm not educated about, what I don't know, fosters my exclusion. And we have been able to provide materials like the Friday Thoughts, the highlight of the different countries of origin. And that has opened up the knowledge base, the understanding of people. And so now when you talk to residents or you talk to team members, you get that sense of acceptance, but also awareness. And I think that's one of the things that have stood out the most. And then the trust. We trust that the organization is supporting us. And like you said, it's not one person, it's a DEI committee, but it is also every part and every branch of Goodwin Living. And that's what makes it work to me. That's the thing that makes it work. Everyone is involved. We ask for ownership from everyone within our organization. And I think when that first committee came together, it was new. And like you said, it was so diverse with residents, team members, members from the LGBT community. And we came up with those ideas and those 3 pillars of educate, embrace, and empower. But our committee has changed over the 3 years, and we have some younger, bright minds coming into the community committee, looking at things from different angles. So it's also expanding how we approach diversity and taking that out from just the first thing you think of, color. It has helped us to grow. So for you, where do you see this going in the next 3 years? What path or plan do you want the DEI committee to pursue?
I think the education part isn't going to be a hallmark of what we focus on ongoing. And this is not a topic that is here for today and gone tomorrow. Our whole world around us is extraordinarily diverse already.
Exactly.
And getting more diverse, especially in our area. And so we have to be intentional, stay intentional. And education is going to be key. And being able to look at metrics, being able to know, how are we hiring? What opportunities are we providing? What kind of education opportunities for uplift are we providing? Those are all going to be really important measures over the next 3 years, but ongoing as an organization. One of the things when the committee came together was to establish a focus on leadership, making sure leadership was trained, had awareness around our own deficits, and at the same time making sure that people that are in leadership roles are reflective of the diversity that we have within the organization. And we're continuing to take really good steps in that direction. So I think in the next 3 years, it's really embracing more of the cultures, more of the general community, bringing them in and celebrating, having the joy, recognizing that we're going to have to be more active because there's still a lot of hate out there, and we're going to have our voice be in the mix against that. I mean, we can't just let hate go by without combating it. And so I think we're going to have to come around that reality more. And I think for us, being mindful that a lot of the work around age and ageism is going to start to become probably even more important for us as an organization.
Yeah, I like the fact that you're bringing up ageism, because again, we look at the immediate reaction to diversity and we sort of put ourselves in a box and say it's color, it's black and white, and it's not. It's so much more than that. Ageism is a part of it, making sure that we're ready to embrace our LGBT community as they age in place or as they come into our communities. So I think all of those things are going to be important. I know looking forward for me as the chair, I'm always conscious of how we connect our residents and our team members, and making sure that that connection stays and that we're learning together. Because it doesn't give the greatest benefit if you have just your team members learning about diversity. We're a community that works together. I mean, we spend most of our days together.
That's right.
We're seeing each other early in the morning and then late at night.
That's right.
So we've got to make sure that connection is happening across all of the areas with our residents, our team members, priority club members, and of course, like welcoming in our new community of TVA. And so that was part of why I wanted this conversation with you, because you have been so supportive of DEI. And I've talked to my counterparts at other communities, and while they're working towards putting a committee together, they don't always have the support that I've experienced with you, and that we've been able to move things forward. So one, I want to thank you for that. And also thank you for the commitment you're making for the future, because I'll come and ask for things.
Of course, and that's part of why I see myself in my own journey. I think an organization, if the CEO and president isn't actively seen themselves as the diversity, equality, and inclusion officer, I think that organization is not going to be as effective in really embracing all the parts that need to happen. And then having partners like you who come and with such wisdom and grace and really bringing everyone together in conversation and finding the really good ideas, trying different things. Some things work really well, some things don't work as well, but being open to the experience, it's been awesome. It's been awesome.
It has been, and I am so excited about what will happen in the future. Like I said, we have new members on our committee that have great ideas. They have a passion, and we're putting together a group of supporters that maybe can't commit to the requirements of the committee, but they are our legs and feet in each of our areas, and they're willing to support us. So again, thank you. Looking forward to celebrating 3 years and 3 more years.
Awesome.
Thanks.
Wait,
I don't.
you want to go there, here?
We got to go up and down,
All right.
and then there. So 1, 2, up, down. Good. And we should finally end here.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got it. Hey.